So more companies are needed. More companies from the community who have a heart for the community. So this initiative is important. A bit about myself. I'm going to focus on aims 1 and 2, about 4. And when I came in, I saw the ethos of the school and, the commitment to learning and development. I saw the prayer hands, but yet we see the challenges. We see the challenges that beset schools throughout the country. And if we were to just hone in on areas like Fairvale, areas like Newlands, areas like Eldorado Park, we see that we have similar challenges. And we see that schools and students in schools from predominantly colored areas, Stats SA confirms that these areas are struggling the hardest with development of the individuals. So in other words, the individuals from those schools are performing worse within the country in terms of the development within industry. So you go to school to set a foundation to go develop within industry. And ultimately in management positions, supervision positions, we're underachieving. We're the least, we're the least successful in that space. So you need initiatives like this, but these initiatives need to allow introspection, and that introspection needs to translate into ambition. And so, the 2 aims: create a drug, alcohol-free environment at schools, create an atmosphere conducive to learning. So these 2 aims at the beginning of this paper. A bit about myself. I grew up in Eldorado Park, a single parent with my mom. Originally I didn't grow up with her, I grew up with my gran for many years. So when I got to Eldorado Park, the gang life, the alcohol life, the drug life was very attractive to me. I was about your size out there, and I enjoyed those things more than school. School was a non-interest for me. In fact, I wish that the place burned down, We stole reports in case we failed, so we'll forge the reports, which we in some cases did. But that was my life for a long time. Alcohol, drugs, and an atmosphere, non-conducive to learning. Learning was the furthest thing from my mind. I'd never seen a university. I'd never been to any place really, other than Durban and Johannesburg, between the 2 provinces. Had very little interaction with my father, and loved the gang life. Was fairly profitable at it as well. But then I gave up that alcohol and drug issues in grade 11. That time it was standard 9 and 10, sir. I'm a bit old. And I saw people that lived differently in Beshe. I came to Beshe and I was in the E class. The E class was the underachieving class, no exemption, so no prospect of university, and in a prefab. So most of Beshe is a brick building, but the 9D and 9E class were prefabs. And I was in the E class. So it was almost literally very close to the bush. But that's fine, I was used to that. I thought I'm going to do my thing at the school. But I met some people like yourselves that were focused. They wanted to make a success of themselves. And so I went from the E class to, that time it was UND, University of Natal, Durban, which was highly ranked globally with a lot of international lecturers based on that facility. And from there I went to WITS and completed a master's with distinction at WITS. 2 years at Beshe, and encountering people like yourselves, I decided to make some changes. And the guidance counselor said to me, why do you want to write on higher grade? I said, to go to university. He said, what do you want to do there? I said, I don't know. He said, but you want to go there? I said, yes, I know I'm going there. And when I got there, I was, I didn't know really, it was sort of the first time. And I had to find my way and find my subjects and register and deregister and eventually find something that I'm fairly good at doing. But I just want to tell you, if you focus and if you set it within your psyche, within your mind, your heart, that you're unstoppable, that you can do all things, take the limits and restrictions off. Since that day, I've never lived in a township. I couldn't go back because of my past and where I come from. It changes me when I go But my first job was at Department of Foreign Affairs, sir. Straight from university. And they flew me to Pretoria and kept me in a hotel. Then I went, did the interview, left, back to Durban. They flew me back up for a panel interview. And eventually they said to me, you have the job. And I said, but I'm still completing my honors. And they said to me, that's okay. You finish up. When you finish, you come and join us. And when I got to Pretoria, I lived in a hotel for 6 months. And they said to me, stay here as long as you like until you find, this is part of the way we recruit in this department. And when I got there, they gave me a red passport, which is a diplomatic passport. And my first trip was to Switzerland. A boy from El Dorado Park. A boy hooked on alcohol, drugs, and crime. Because I was involved in crime for a very long time. In fact, at university, I was also involved in crime. That's a different story. Because for a while, I took my eye off, I became arrogant, I became, I'm okay, I'm doing my thing, I can get back in there now, into that space. And it's now 20 years that I'm alcohol-free, drug-free, and crime-free. So you guys, my advice, start earlier, get focused, build a career, and go see the world. I've seen places,